Hi, and welcome back to Bean Talk. Today, we want to talk about the perfect match for your Faemina, the new FAEMA Touch&Match grinder. Before we get into depth on the grinder, I want to talk about to the people that are new to our channel. Our name is Bean Talk Coffee News and we like to talk about all things coffee. We're doing everything from reviews over tutorials to interviews to different people from the coffee industry. If you enjoy coffee as much as we do, hit our subscribe button and follow us for more videos. And now back to the grinder. In our last video where we talked about the differences in grinders, we already talked a little bit about this grinder. To be specific, this is the FAEMA Touch&Match grinder, or it's also available as the Cimbali G20 grinder. Basically the same grinder, it says Cimbali or FAEMA on the back, but it doesn't make a difference. As you can see, one of the main features is definitely the design. It looks beautiful. In this case, we've got it in the black version. This grinder specifically is to match your Faemina. It's available also in white as this Faemina, so that we don't have the white one here right now. Let's talk about the features of the grinder. It's a fairly compact grinder, perfect for your home. It's not quite as tall as the Faemina, so it's nice to put it next to it. Anyways, so we've got our hopper here on top, which fits a bit more than 250 grams of coffee. Then we have this OLED screen. We have this knob to change our settings of the grind size, a little fork to put the portafilter in, and we've got this little tray to put underneath in case we make a mess. In our last video, we talked briefly about burrs. This grinder has flat burrs. Everybody has their preferences, whether flat burrs or conical burrs. One isn't necessarily better than the other. With this grinder, we have the possibility to set two different options for grinding. We have our double espresso, and then if we press this button here, we have our single espresso, in case you want to use that. If I want to change the dose of my coffee, I can just press minus or plus. And of course, this is set in seconds. So for my double espresso, which is about 18 grams, it takes about 12 seconds to grind it. Even do that right now. Let's put it on the scale. As the actuator on this, we have a little knob down here. Once you put our portafilter in, it starts grinding. And if it starts to get full, and you want to give it a little knock, you can just press again and it stops, and continues if you press again. As you can see, you can do that how often you want. And we have 18.4 grams. Brew an espresso. "24 seconds, almost perfect." If you want, you have a different portafilter. You can change the distance from the opening pretty easily. You just have to unscrew this here and then you can change the height. So if you want to change your grind settings, this is very easy. You have this knob up here for changing it. If you want to go finer, you turn it towards fine. If you want it coarser, you turn towards coarse, as grinders work. So this is a stepless system. You can adjust it as fine as you want and it works pretty well, to be honest. I was quite surprised starting to work with this grinder. As for a grinder of this size, we even tried making some filter coffee. I mean, it's not designed for it, but even that worked quite well. This grinder comes in at about 700 euros. Not the cheapest, but also not the most expensive one out there. But I have to say it works really, really well. From the coffees we've tried, it makes really, really nice espresso with a good texture to it. What's not to love about it? And it also looks amazing next to your Faemina. Retention-wise, it's pretty good. Of course, especially with on-demand grinders, there's always gonna be a little retention and coffee that's just stuck in the chamber, basically. But with this grinder, it's fairly little due to the size of it. Of course, if you have like huge bursts, there's more space for coffee to get stuck in the middle. So with this, it works quite well. Speed-wise, we have 12.5 seconds, I think, for 18.4 grams that we had earlier, which is a fairly decent speed. This is a grinder for home espresso machines or home baristas, and maybe as a second or third grinder for a cafe. Not necessarily your main professional grinder if you want to pull out hundreds of shots of espresso in an hour, then you of course want to get a professional grinder. But for the size and price of this grinder, it really works quite well. I'm curious if anyone has tried this grinder and what your opinions are on it. Put it down in the comments. I'd really be interested. And also maybe if you have a different grinder, put it down in the comments. I'd be quite interested to read what you're using at home right now. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. It would mean a lot. Other than that, I will see you in the next video. Until then, drink loads of good coffee. Bye.